welcome to the Witch's Tea Party. I'm the witch, Mystia, and with me today are my co-hosts.
I am StareliaYumera.
Hi, I'm MintyYukime.
Hi, I'm Momo. I'm a little fuzzy today.
Momo and Yuki are having a little bit of internet difficulties, so if they get isekai'd, don't worry about it.
For our visual
Yeah, if you're
listeners,
listening.
the tether to reality is a little bit rough right now, so
It
audio
won't affect
listeners
you
won't
guys,
have a
though.
problem. But
All right, let's start off correctly this time with our segment. What are you drinking? I have with me today a what is this called? It's an iced turtle mocha from Caribou Coffee, which
yo,
you may or may not have that where you live.
You're drinking a turtle?
Yes.
Okay, if you say so.
Someone's gotta.
Do they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What actually is that though? Like I've never heard of that actually.
So like a turtle mocha is like caramel and chocolate, basically.
Oh, okay.
Like a turtle chocolate.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds really good.
What's everybody else got?
Well, I have, for once, I do have water, but I remembered to get a different drink, and I have a Strongbow Gold Apple Cider, which is so yummy. So good.
Oh, that sounds really good. I love apple cider.
I stole it from Momo.
I can't
I
have
see.
them right now very well, so.
No.
I have a blueberry iced tea and then also water.
Ooh.
Oh, that sounds really good.
Mhm.
I have 4 drinks in front of me, but I'm only gonna pick one. So this is now the closest thing I can relate this to explain is if you've ever had Milkus, which is a Korean milk soda.
I have
got-
had that, yeah.
It's really, really good. But I have Nipis, which is I think this is a Taiwanese version of basically the same drink, but it's low calorie. So it's a yogurt. It's not a soda actually. This one's just a yogurt like drink, but it's really, really good.
Oh,
Interesting.
I have had that too. Yeah.
Oh,
I know what
okay,
you're
yeah.
talking about.
It's just Milkus, but lower calorie and not carbonated.
Yeah. That sounds good too, though.
Sounds very yummy.
Yeah. Also, I forgot to mention I am recovering from a cold, so if I sound a little nasally, that would be why. But we're here.
That
and we're
makes
recording
sense.
the podcast.
Please
Alright,
warm the
Hooray.
cat. If she's cold, if you're cold, she's cold. Bring her inside.
Let her in.
Let me in.
Let us in. We're
Oh,
cold.
not that button. I meant.
We're all cold. We're all very cold right now. But
Mhm.
especially Mystia she was cold. She was very cold.
I'm less cold though because today I bought a hoodie that has Kerbo on it, and it's keeping me warm.
Oh, what the Turbo doing?
They're floating on a warp star and also having a little tea party in a park.
Aw,
Oh,
that's
It's
so
cute.
It's really cute. Hoodie.
I want a Kerbo
Mhm.
sweater.
Kerbo.
All right, you guys.
Poyo.
So I can't Play-Doh? Oh no, Poyo.
Poyo.
yeah.
Poyo.
Wait, no.
Play-Doh.
Play-Doh. Play-Doh.
I'm like, what are you doing
Play-Doh.
with Play-Doh? Okay, so there's something
Not Kirby.
there's something we have to discuss that we can't ignore. And that is the Twitter situation.
Oh God. Yeah.
So we're gonna start out with a not so fun topic. If you didn't know, Elon Musk's purchase of Twitter recently went through. He is now the proud owner of a lot of people's livelihoods, which is terrifying.
That's true.
So let's talk about it. So basically,
I hate it.
yes, it's bad, it's stupid, and we hate it. But basically what the problem is that Elon Musk has been saying that so there's going to be a charge of $8 per month to have your Twitter account verified. And if you don't verify your Twitter account, your posts will start being treated as like they're spam, so like they're not going to get pushed out to people. And so you might be
So
thinking
bad.
you might be thinking like, oh good, like I hate Twitter, this is going to suck and Elon Musk is going to fail. But what you might not be thinking about is that Twitter is like a lot of people's livelihoods, particularly artists and creators that need to reach an audience. So, all right, I'll shut up and let everybody else give a piece.
Well, I think this is such a weird and interesting thing because if it goes like how he's describing it, most Twitter users are just going to be suppressed anyway. But like at that point, will it change anything? Because like we already have like, regardless of the size, people can pay for sponsored tweets, and usually it's sponsored companies. But you can like I've seen it from people who have like 20 followers who paid whatever dollar amount to get their post promoted. Is it just going to be like the reverse of that? Is it just going to be normal anyway? Because there's realistically, I feel like there's going to be so few people paying for this, at least immediately. That, and then like we also have Twitter Blue right now.
Oh yeah,
That's
I
true,
forget
yeah.
Twitter Blue is even a thing.
You get a few kind of okay, I guess, benefits for buying it. Like you can edit a tweet, but only within like a few, or it's like, no, it's not an edit after you send it. It's an edit before you send it. It lets you review it while it's queued up.
Well, there is now an actual edit button that
Oh, is that
Elon
okay? Okay.
added, and
Oh,
it's
okay.
like you can edit a tweet after you send it for like 3 hours or something. I don't remember the exact time limit, but
So weird.
it's the thing about it to me, right, is like we as creators are technically in the minority of like people on Twitter, right?
Right.
Yeah.
The majority of Twitter are people who have like 3 to 15 followers and over 100 people following because they're using it to keep up with people that they follow, like us.
Right.
Follow us on Twitter.
True.
Yeah, shout outs to our Twitter accounts, by the way.
Links in the descriptions, except that we're not allowed to actually post links yet until the account is a little more established. So copy the link and paste it into your browser.
Yeah. But it is a weird situation where like this particular move to me feels very targeted predatory towards the people who are those like quote unquote, this feels bad to say because I don't want to call them nobodies because they're not nobodies, but like they are not
Well, it's just they're
creators,
just
right?
normal people. They're just
Right,
normal
normal
people
people.
who
Normal
happen
Twitter
to use.
users.
You're correct.
Yeah.
They are just normal people infected by the like content creator brain rot. But,
Those
like,
darn normies.
but like it is one of those things where they are basically just being taken advantage of by this like kind of weird scare tactic of like, oh, the people or like your tweets won't matter anymore because you're not one of those people who like already has a blue check mark or something like that. And like I don't know how that's going to work. Like, are people who already have the blue check mark, are they just going to be forced to pay the money or lose it? Or like, what is
Oh,
a
going
separate,
yeah, that's a
on
good
with that?
point. Maybe it's a separate
like,
thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And I do kind of agree with Star in that, like, it's probably not really going to be that much different than it is right now in a lot of ways because people won't pay for it at first. And if Twitter just starts showing you nothing but like sponsored tweets and people who are tweeting that you're not even following, the entire platform will explode. Like no matter what, it's just going to die. Because otherwise, like what is the point of even having Twitter for the purpose of following people you want to keep up with, right? If you're just going to
Not be able to see their
shove
tweets or
And-
anything.
right.
to like add to that, there's all like unless they were to get rid of notifications and SMS stuff, like you could still just have notifications on for the people you want to see anyway. So like
It just sucks because it's gonna be harder to reach like a larger audience, I think.
yeah.
Right. There's
Especially
definitely a lot of problems with it. I do
Mhm.
think that it's just going to ultimately lead to a huge loss of money and like user base for Twitter itself more
Right.
than it
Yeah.
will affect the average user experience.
Yeah,
that's fair.
exactly. Like
I guess I'm
it's
kind
hard
of
to
worried
say
about
and
like the
oh go ahead.
the
Yeah.
more people that like start paying for it, like more people are gonna feel like they have to start paying for it if they don't want
Mhm.
their content to be seen. And like from the
Yeah.
way they were describing it in the article that I saw on Twitter, um, it sounds like even just comments on your thread from people that aren't verified are not going to be shown.
That's weird.
I
That's
don't know
so
if that's
weird.
true.
Yeah, if that's true, then like it's to me it feels even more so like it's just preying on people who don't have a large following because like
Yeah.
you could make the argument that like Twitter is a business expense for us, so paying that like $8 is like technically not that insane. It's a tax deductible thing. It's like part
Yeah.
of our livelihood. It kind of you can make the argument that it's like fine, I guess. I still think it's
Mhm.
shitty, but it's like fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but then whenever you suddenly start hiding replies from people who are not verified, it suddenly becomes this like you're specifically targeting the people who are not content creators and don't have a reason to have this feature, but now anything they say can't ever be seen by the people they're trying to talk to.
Yeah.
It's inherent flaws in the design philosophy of like this isn't there to help like any specific user. It's just a feature to harm more users than it helps.
Mm-hmm.
And like
It's like
if like
literally just a
say
way to make more
like yeah,
money, I guess, but it's like
yeah. And I mean
Right.
that's the idea I think pretty clearly is like obviously it's to make money. But like
Mhm.
at that point like if you just nuke your own platform by most like the I don't know how these numbers work. I don't know how many people have Twitter Blue. It's probably a like I would say less than 1 to 2% of users have Twitter Blue because of
Mm-hmm.
how
Yeah.
many users are on it. And if it just stays at that number, like if I don't know, I can't say why people use Twitter. Like most people use Twitter just to see content, but like the people who just try to interact with others are just going to stop doing it if you can't interact back cuz you just don't see it. Like I is there's no benefit to the average user, like clearly. Like that I guess that's the point, but like why
Yeah.
wouldn't they just leave to go to a platform where they can interact then at that point?
and that's like another topic in itself is like where are people gonna go if Twitter implodes? Like
God.
Right.
Yeah, I don't even
there's not
know.
that
Like,
many
there's not a lot of great
options.
options, right?
There's
Facebook's the
no
worst thing in the world.
oh god, I never want to use
So
Facebook ever.
apparently there's 237.8 million users on Twitter in general, which seems
Yeah.
low, but I don't know. Whenever I
They
think
do
of like
bot purges a lot, so I wonder if that might be
yeah,
why like
I think of Facebook with over a billion registered users, right? Like I
yeah.
don't
Right.
I know Twitter is
Well,
smaller than Facebook and Facebook doesn't do the same level of like bot purges and things like that, but like it still feels a huge disparity there for
I would
companies that are
say maybe part of that
roughly equivalent.
Facebook targets everyone, while Twitter more specifically has historically targeted younger users.
That's true.
That's
Like,
fair.
I
There's
mean,
a
just
I
not
guess
to.
when I think about Facebook, I just think about old people.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Right.
Though, like, I
But it
don't
wasn't
think of
like
like,
always that way, right? It was
Yeah.
like,
Right.
yeah,
at least initially, it was just the replacement for MySpace. So it was just every person,
mhm.
basically.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly that too. And like when I think like again the old person thing, like not that my grandparents ever used social media, but if I could see my like grandma on either Facebook or Twitter, it's definitely not Twitter.
No.
Yeah,
True.
that's true.
I was told like the average Twitter user experience is mostly political stuff though, so I guess if grandmas were going to be on there, I could see them reaching that part of Twitter.
Yeah.
For us as VTubers, I think our Twitter experience is very different than most people's.
Yeah.
So, since Twitter Blue was launched earlier or I guess late last year, it has only generated $6.4 million in like revenue, which with an audience base of 238 million, that's nothing. Like nobody
That's
uses Twitter Blue.
I
How expensive is Twitter
honestly.
Blue? Is it like $25?
What?
$10?
it's a monthly subscription.
I think it's $6 a month right now.
$6 a
It's
month?
Like
yeah,
$4.99 or
some
$5.99.
weird
Ew.
specific price like that. Yeah.
I literally
That's
always forget it exists.
I guess like the thing about it is like it doesn't offer whenever it came out, like it doesn't do anything for you, right? Like
Yeah.
just now Twitter Blue is getting the like edit button that people have
Yeah,
been
and it
asking
had
for
the
years.
pre-edit button before. That's what I was
Right.
referring to. Was when it launched, it had the pre-edit button. I only know because someone I follow on Twitter has it, but like
Mm-hmm.
that's the only person I know that has it, and I interact and follow far too many people.
Right. And like the only person I can think of doing like any kind of content on it on like what Twitter Blue is specifically is like Marquise Brownlee, right? Who's like a massive YouTuber, not VTuber, tech YouTuber. And that's like how I learned that Twitter Blue has the like current edit function. Was through him because he made a video on it. And like I don't know. It's just so irrelevant, I
Why?
guess, is
Just
the best
why?
way I can put it.
It's sort of like super follows in a way, because at first there wasn't really anything to offer with super follows. It was just like, do you want to give money to this person? Except do you want to give money to Twitter for some reason? Like it's not even like a
Yeah.
person you might have a connection with or someone you care about or someone's content you care about. It's just, do you want to, like, it would be like if Facebook was like, click this button to give money to Facebook once per month. Why? For
Just
fun.
because.
No,
Yeah.
And
you
like
can. So
honestly,
do it.
I don't want Twitter to like go down, so like I understand why they need
Mhm.
money. I do think it's a little funny that the advertisers are, and I guess I don't know this for sure, but I've heard it's because allegedly they're pulling out because they're worried about Twitter's future.
Right.
And
Yeah, so let's do the thing that makes it worse.
yeah.
Because like Elon has at this point said nothing about what he actually wants to do with the platform. He's just kind
Yeah.
of arbitrarily made random statements on like talk shows and then fired a whole bunch of people and like
And complained a lot about how much money Twitter is
Right.
hemorrhaging it all the time. Like all of his tweets are just like, by the way, we fired all these people because the company was hemorrhaging $4 million a day. So some cuts had to be made. And it's like, okay, but like, what are you like doing? Like,
Also,
Like, why did you even want to buy Twitter? Were you just flexing?
right. Well, like originally Elon did it for like the flex basically. Like he literally started this entire process because he was like, I don't like Twitter bots and I think they should go away and I have a lot of money so I'll buy it. And like started doing that and then he was like, "Oh wait, I actually have to buy it? I didn't want that."
Yeah, because I think at first he tried to like pull out of the deal, right?
Mhm.
And then
I just
like
don't get how you get that far down that rabbit hole. Like, how do you get that far into the process of buying something
What
without
do
like,
you don't accidentally buy Twitter all the time?
right?
I know
Like-
I've accidentally bought Twitter before, so like
God, I hate when Twitter just shows up at my doorstep and I own it now.
Yeah, it's
I
like
just-
when I sign up for like a monthly service or something because it's free for the first month, and then I forget to like take off the payment. It's just like that. I just forgot to
Yeah.
not purchase Twitter the second month.
Uh,
Man, this is the worst
he really
timeline
just
though.
wanted to buy Twitter Blue because he thought it was a cool idea, but then accidentally like just clicked the wrong button and oops,
He
whole
added
company.
Twitter to cart.
It was very confusing. There's a button for him that says buy Twitter and one under it that says buy Twitter Blue.
I like the idea. There's like big flashing arrows. They're like Elon Musk. Click here.
Man,
Can we like trap Elon Musk with like big buttons that say like donate here to like our like Twitch pages? Like,
Elon, please.
is that how Elon Musk works?
Yeah. Just have a button that says click
Trophies in
here to get rid of
pocket
Twitter.
It's like how vampires have to be invited in to be able to come into your house, except or how they're like compelled to count things. We have to just like compel Elon Musk to
Throw
pay us
money at
for
us.
all of our like everything. Elon Musk, would you like to buy our VTuber brands for $17 billion each?
I love my model and everything about my brand. I will sell it for $17 billion.
Yeah, I'll
Look,
treat
there's
it
no
right.
too. I
questions.
don't-
There's no. I would.
don't know anyone
You
who
can have
listens.
everything I own for $17 billion. I
Right,
can get it all
same.
back
And more.
True.
and a lot more.
I could then like not be working a 9 to 5 and just focus on content creation for like all that I want.
I mean,
Oh,
And I
that's
get
the
to
dream.
make
at that
missions.
amount of money,
That's
you would
crazy.
never need to work again. Like,
Right,
like,
but like
there's no
I would-
caveat to that unless you bought like a house, like that's too
Right.
expensive with it. Like,
I still would want to like okay, this is like a big tangent, but like if you suddenly had like $1 billion and never had to work for the rest of your life, like what would you do? Because for me, I would still want to do something, and that something is
yeah.
probably like content creation, making like long form like video essays and stuff like that I can just like devote a ton of time to for no reason because I don't know, I have $1 billion and I don't have to worry about
Yeah,
this
exactly.
anymore.
That's probably still what I
Same.
would do. Like, I don't think I would really
Yeah.
do anything different because for me, it's like I have my 9 to 5, and then I have content creation on the side, and like content creation is what I'm passionate about. But there was a time when I didn't have my 9 to 5, and I didn't have like a solid income. Oh my god, you're just
I'm
phasing
sorry,
out
I'm
of
speaking
existence.
to you from beyond the veil right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just associating
You're
real
like,
quick. Don't mind me.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to point out I love so much that it really like focuses on the outline.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It does.
How's the
It's
other
so
world
bad.
treating you guys?
it's okay.
It's very blue.
They're like in between
Yeah.
worlds right now.
Mine is pretty purple.
Oh no, Yuki, are you in Twitter Blue?
Oh no, you're right. Oh no, I forgot to. Oh god, I'm purchasing Twitter. Oh no,
Oh no! Click cancel. Click
my
cancel.
$17 billion. What do I do?
Oh my god.
Look,
Yeah,
I hate to
but
break it to you, but Twitter is $44 billion, babe.
No.
God. but yeah, I forgot exactly what I was saying, but like there was a point in time where like I didn't have the income from my 9 to 5, so like I felt a lot more pressured to have my content do
Yeah.
well, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And right now it's like it sucks because I don't get as much time to work on it that I would like, and I'm tired and stuff after work, but like I can treat it as a hobby again. Like
Right.
I have
Yeah.
a lot more fun. And you know, the goal is for someday content would make me enough income for me to be able to live off of that I wouldn't need the 9 to 5. So like if you had $17 billion, like you're set.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is that really enough to live off of? I mean, what if you like buy Twitter by accident or something?
Right.
Well, then
Like,
you're just
Oh,
fucked.
well, then you're in the red again suddenly.
Then all your tweets have to be about how Twitter is losing so much money.
So true. So true. Just go make more money on Tesla or something, or like building like huge tunnels through Los Angeles that you're prohibitively going to make for only other rich people and not actually provide a service for anyone.
Oh, true.
Wait, is that
Yeah,
something he's
I mean-
doing? Oh my god.
Yeah, that's what he did. He built like a huge like tunnel underneath LA and like basically he built the subway system and then restricted it completely to only people who could afford to take like advanced Ubers basically that are driven by like Tesla cars underground across like I think it's like a 6 mile like distance or something like that. It's very stupid and unbelievably wasteful.
These aren't
Wow.
regular Ubers. These are advanced Ubers.
Literally.
Uber 2.
Uber, if Uber is so good, why isn't there an Uber too?
There is. It's called Lyft.
Wait,
Wait,
but that
Wow.
would be like Uber 0.5.
so true. All
Realistically,
right, let's
Uber would be Lyft too.
let's take
You're
Elon
right.
Musk and put him in the trash. We have some more fun things to talk about, such as the Nintendo Switch releasing the N64 collection.
True.
Let's go. Nostalgia trip. Nostalgia trip.
Yes.
I have thoughts. I like, while I'm very excited for these games to be on there and to have them available, I don't like streaming games because I'm a physical collector. So everything I have,
Mm,
except for Steam games, I play physically, with some exceptions, like stuff that isn't available. But also, I don't. What is it? It's like $30 more to your Switch subscription if you have the normal single person. It's $20 a year. I think for Nintendo 64 and Sega Genesis and the like Animal Crossing DLC, it's $30 more a year.
Whoa.
I mean,
And
I
I
Yeah.
think that's kind of like not reasonable, but I think it's worth it at least because
if you're going to
there
use it,
is
yes.
right. There isn't an easy way to play Nintendo 64 games, especially as a streamer on
True.
stream.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I meant more like my personal gripe with it and why
Right.
I don't have it right now.
Fair.
But in general, yeah.
Totally fair. But like, I do think that there is like a really good market for this. I think it's worth that
Mhm.
money because, for one, it directly targets the nostalgia of people in our age groups.
Me. It
Yeah.
targets me.
We're all
Yeah.
fossils.
And like, it added 3 of my like favorite games from Nintendo 64, which is already enough to justify to me the purchase of it.
Oh, speaking of, should we go down that list just to give reference?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll post it on the screen, and we could talk about it.
But yeah, there's like 1080 snowboarding. I guess it's not out yet.
Oh yeah,
Coming in
let's just go down.
2023.
If it's on the screen, like I don't want to necessarily go down every single one, but some highlights are like
Well, we
Mario-
just
early
name them
Mario
off.
Parties.
Sure.
Oh,
But,
they got
I
Pokemon
just wanted to say
Stadium
with that,
and
like,
Pokemon
it's a-
Stadium 2. Those were my shit when I was little.
Yeah. An aspect of this I don't think people at least I haven't seen people talk about is Nintendo's actually doing what the other companies are doing now, or they have been. It's like Xbox
True.
Game Pass and I think it's just the PlayStation Plus subscription now because they got bundled together.
It's
Right.
PlayStation Plus Premium or PlayStation
Yeah.
Plus Essential and Premium, I think.
Yeah,
And then
yeah. But
also
it's
Plus Now.
an extension of PlayStation Plus now. But
Mhm.
Nintendo has been for a while with NES and SNES, but I think it's getting a lot more eyes that like they're doing what the other two first party game companies are doing now. And it's like whether you like it or not, or you like the games or not, it's really cool that we have access to these in a streaming service because
Right.
the Switch also has cloud versions of games, but unfortunately, they're kind of stinky in how they are formatted because you pay for the game and then can only stream it. It's not available in a service. Like Resident Evil 7 is finally getting released in English in that way. They have Resident Evil 8 Village is coming to Switch that way. The whole
Ooh.
Kingdom Hearts series, for some reason, is only available through cloud on the Switch. I don't
Wait, really?
understand
That's
why,
so
but
weird.
Yeah.
yeah. But it's nice to see like where because all of those you have to pay for the game. You have to pay
Right.
the 60 or whatever it is might be on sale. This is just the yearly service getting a bunch of additional content. Now, originally, people were bummed out by the N64 announcement because if you look through the ones that didn't get added at release, it was a really small library for the price.
Oh, would that be all the ones that have
Right.
like coming in 20?
Yeah.
It
it's
was
basically-
Dr. Mario, Mario Kart 64, and then Star Fox, Super Mario 64, Sin and Punishment, Win Back, and Yoshi's Story, and Ocarina of Time. And that was it.
I mean,
And
those are
Mario
some good
Tennis.
games, but yeah,
Mario
it's a
Tennis, yeah.
very small library.
Yeah.
It's especially funny because they had just before this, like not even a year ago, I don't think, had the like re-release of the Mario Anniversary Edition with Mario 64 in it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot
So, like,
all about that.
a lot of people got that, and then they were like, "Oh, Mario 64 is coming to the N64 thing on the Switch," and it's like, well, I don't really need that anymore.
I-
Thanks
I
though.
already
I,
bought
I
the,
have it. I have
pack.
it on a cartridge or a download already.
Right. Like, the people who
Yeah.
really wanted it for the most part had access to it, right?
Yeah.
It makes a lot more sense why they stopped production of that like cartridge completely and just took it away,
Mhm.
because they were like, oh, we shouldn't be selling this because we want to make them buy it on this thing.
Yeah,
Though
we'll
it
just
is
sell
a
this
shame for the other two
subscription thing
games on that
instead.
bundle.
Right. That was my next thing, is like, does this like adding the Nintendo 64, does this foreshadow us getting like a GameCube one sometime in like 2024 or
I
something
would
like that?
pop off so
Right.
hard
Same,
if
like
we
the
got GameCube.
GameCube had so
Yes.
many amazing titles on it. That it was like my
Mhm.
whole childhood.
Yeah,
If
me
we get a
too.
re-release of Kirby Air Ride with active online you can play with
Oh my
people, you
God.
can expect me to
Oh,
never shut up about it and never play anything else for the rest of my
oh
life.
my
I'm
god.
just gonna rebrand into a Kirby Air Ride streamer and never do anything else. So please look forward
Free
to that.
trial, baby.
No, you're so valid. You're so valid. Cause like same. Um but also like
What?
I don't even know what I would play on
Kirby
what
Air
I would
Ride.
want most. Like Kirby Air Ride is probably my favorite game on GameCube,
Yeah.
but I don't know, like I can't even think of like other GameCube games right now. Like
It's
Chibi
hard to like
Robo, I
think of
guess.
them off the top of my head, but there were so many that I just really liked. Uh Custom Robo was my shit.
Yeah.
Chibi Robo
No,
and
Custom Robo,
and
Chibi
Billy
Robo's good too.
Hatcher and the giant egg.
I never
Yeah,
played
yeah.
Billy Hatcher, but that's fair.
Well,
I
I
liked,
wonder how deep they're gonna go with third party, like in the future, because
Right.
Mhm.
the NES and SNES service, and I believe even this, yeah, it has like GoldenEye. It's
Mhm.
got third party support. I want to know how deep that'll go, if especially
Right.
if we get like a GameCube, because GameCube is when they really started to get third party support.
Mhm.
oh yeah.
Mm. I'm hopeful for Billy Hatcher because it's a Sega game and we have the Genesis collection with like Sonic 2 and everything
Yeah,
on it. So like fingers crossed.
yeah.
That would be
And then you
sick.
could lean into other stuff like
I
Tony
mean, like,
Hawks and stuff
okay.
like that.
Mhm.
Also, just obviously Wind Waker, right? Like,
Yeah.
Oh my
I
god,
have actually
yeah.
never played through Wind Waker,
Oh,
which I feel like
really?
is a
Same.
crime.
Wind Waker is one of my favorite games.
It's
Absolutely.
I really want to like so you know when the GameCube came out, there was a version of it for sale that had like that disc with the Legend of Zelda N64 games on it.
Oh, the
Mhm.
Master
The
Master
Master
Edition or
Collection
something
or
like
something
that.
like that. And it had a demo for the Wind Waker. So I played that like a million times, but I never actually got Wind Waker, so I've never played through it.
That's valid. The only Legend of Zelda game I've ever owned is actually Twilight Princess, and I never finished it.
I
Oh,
So I
actually
really
liked
want to.
that
I
one a
really want to
lot.
play through them, and it's cool they're
I-
like re-releasing them and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Two things. So it's the Legend of Zelda Collector's Edition. That's what it's called.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Also, for me, Wind Waker HD was the first Zelda game I actually played, and like, well, not the first one I played. It's the first one I beat that wasn't a side game.
Mhm.
So it's that and Breath of the Wild. So having those both on Switch would be very nice for me. Also, because my Wii U bricked, and that's a whole other problem.
Oh no.
Also,
This is so
also,
sad.
Metroid Prime started on
Yeah.
the GameCube, which would be
Mhm.
amazing to have a remaster of,
Oh,
going
yeah.
into Metroid Prime 4 being released sometime
Yeah.
eventually, one day, maybe.
Oh, I
Maybe
want to play
someday.
Dread. I want to get Dread really badly.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, that did come out.
I actually
Metroid
have
Dread.
Dread, and I really want to play it more, but it was the last game that I streamed before I stopped streaming, and I
Oh,
stopped streaming largely because a lot of my audience kept like making fun of me and calling me stupid for like
oh,
not
yeah,
knowing where to go, and I thought I had soft locked the game, and got very upset about it, and I just stopped,
yeah.
and I haven't
That's
streamed
fair.
since.
That is fair. Like, so audience interaction, it's like, it's fun for them to like make fun of the streamer, right? But like, at certain points you kind of just cross the line between
Right.
where
Right.
it's okay and like now you're just harassing me.
Mhm.
So
Right.
like it's
Like there
perfectly
is,
valid to be upset.
and that
Mhm.
line like shifts, right? And a big part of the way that line shifts is the amount of people you stream to, which is kind of weird to say, but like if I'm streaming to like 15,000 people and like 5,000 of them are like making fun of me and whatever, I don't really care because I'm making a shitload of money off of streaming to them.
Well, that and the
But
chat
whenever
probably
it's like,
moves too fast for you to even really pay attention.
right,
Oh
and
yeah.
whenever it's like 15 people and like 7 of them are making fun of you, it's like, oh, this is like half of my audience and you're the only people like chatting in my chat. This feels terrible.
I was just like
Right.
talking about that earlier today actually in a text chat. Like it's so awkward when the only people talking in your chat are either making fun of you or they're being creepy to you because it's like
You can't avoid it
but they're not being
suddenly.
creepy enough for
Right.
you to like outright ban them, but they're like the
Mhm.
only one talking and normally you just like brush it off and ignore them. But it's so
Yeah.
much harder when they're like the only one.
It's such a
Yeah.
struggle because you don't wanna, like, ban the only active member of your community, right? They're not, like, doing
Yeah.
something that's, like, harmful exactly necessarily, or, like, if they come in and they're, like, racist or, like, transphobic or, like, a complete jerk, then sure,
Yeah, then
but,
they're getting
like
the auto ban, but it's like
right, but there's a lot of people that don't do that, that then, for example, like, make fun of you when you do bad at a game or something, and, like, maybe it's not that big a deal, maybe it's a joke, maybe you know each other, but, like, maybe a random person comes in and or, like, a regular comes in and they say something that, like, is awkward or something, and as a small creator, it's like, well, I'm not gonna, like, ban them, I don't have, like I wanna have people to, like, talk to and play to. The whole point of me streaming is to, like, share this experience with people, right? So if you just
yeah.
ban every single person that you vaguely dislike and is, like, kind of awkward, you're not gonna have that, right?
Yeah, and
But
it's
Yeah,
like
and I
it just puts you in
you
such an awkward position.
it is, and it's like you appreciate the support, but like at the same time it's not really something you want to respond to, I guess. Like during your stream
Yeah.
Right.
sometimes, like if they're just making creepy comments or something.
Mhm. It's rough though because, like, some people like, not to roast viewers too much or whatever, I mean, you'll know if I'm talking about you if this is you, but, like, obviously it's not because I would just ban these people in most cases or talk to them about it. But, like, the thing is, it's really awkward if you have, say, for example, 1 active chatter and you ignore a message they send, and then they say it again, or they say, "Did you see my message?" Or they keep
Right.
on pushing about it. They don't take a hint, or if you tell them, like, "I did, I didn't wanna respond to it," they keep on, like, messaging you about it anyway or something. It's like, great. Like
and I think
Yeah.
it can hurt far worse or like be much harder to deal with depending on like not only the size of your community if you have one yet or like the relationship with your community because I think like now I don't want to mention names for anything because I know someone
Mhm.
who is dealing with this problem of they're kind of known as like the beating stick to their community.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Oh,
like the thing is you attract more people who also will start making fun of you and
right.
taking pot shots at you with jokes and stuff. And then it's like
Mhm.
it just gets worse because your existing community brings in new people who join the community and do the same thing.
Right.
Like
They
it's
Yeah,
see
not
other
because
people doing
healthy.
it
they'll
and
think
like
it's like a
hack
funny running
behavior.
joke and they'll just keep on with it.
Right, and
Right.
it like, you can't even really fault them for it too much because it does seem like it's the acceptable thing to do based on the way
Yeah.
everyone else is acting and the way the streamer probably is
Mhm.
reacting to it because that's what they think they have to do or whatever, but, like, that doesn't mean that it doesn't hurt their feelings, it doesn't mean that it doesn't, like, get to them, get under their skin, right?
Right.
Yeah. And I think that's like a thing of like genuinely to all the people who consume content, which is all of us, but especially live content, especially for small creators, but big creators as well. If you directly interact with the people that you are consuming the content of, just do like think about how you're interacting with them because
Mhm.
a lot of people might be in a position where they just don't feel comfortable saying it, but if you're making them uncomfortable or like being rude to them or just kind of mistreating them, like there's a good chance that they do feel bad about it. And you like and that's the thing I think even a lot of a lot of like people who consume the content may not even realize that they're doing it, because I know that like that's the thing for all people is we say things that we don't realize how it comes off to a certain person who
Right.
might be feeling a certain way or just had a bad day, saying something, not even that you're doing it on purpose or like to hurt them, just
Right.
things can come across differently. And if someone's had a bad day and you're in stream and you're just like, haha, wow, you suck at that, it can really come
Yeah.
across the wrong way sometimes.
Like even I talk about all the time how like stupid and airheaded I am and stuff, and I encourage people to like make fun of me in that kind of way. But that doesn't mean that sometimes those types of comments can't get under my skin or be a little bit too far or too much, right? Like,
Yeah.
and I'm usually pretty vocal about it and open about it. I don't typically feel that pressure to like not talk about it for the most part because I'm like relatively smaller as a creator and kind of in tune with my community a lot more. But not everyone has that privilege, right? Not everyone has that situation going on. A lot of people would just be stuck in that situation where it's like, oh, well, I've managed to gather an audience of people who like making fun of me. Oh, wait, this is hurting my feelings, but I don't have any other option. Oh, no.
Yeah,
Like,
but now I'm big for it, and this is what everyone likes.
This
I
is what I'm
have to
known
keep doing it,
for.
even if I feel terrible.
Yeah. Another thing is like, so sometimes you'll get friends that you feel comfortable interacting with a certain way. So like, for example, maybe you bully each other a little bit. You have some running jokes between you, and they'll come in your chat and they'll make the jokes, and then like other people that you don't know might start trying to do the same thing, and it's like
Yeah.
those are two different levels, right? So it's like, while I might be okay with like Star or Yuki coming in and like making fun of me, not that you ever would, but like I don't
yeah,
think
Misty
I
is
would
so
be
Oh my
upset,
God.
but like
stinky.
Oh my God, your bells are so big. What you got the big bells
Wow.
for? Do they ring? Oh my
Don't-
God.
Oh my
Don't
God,
look at my
Becky, look at her bells.
No, don't look at my bells. I'm saving them for marriage. Anyway, but yeah, like sometimes there's just different dynamics between people you're comfortable with versus like chatters that like you don't know very well, which is I guess it's like a parasocial problem.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like for sure. I think and it's kind of goes back to what we were mentioning earlier. People will come in assuming a certain relationship status or like not dating, but like assume a relationship like
Right.
that they're at
Mhm.
with you, even though they literally have never talked to you.
It's something that like it is very cliche to say because like a lot of big content creators say it, but like even though there's that like separation of like the model or the webcam or whatever and the stream and just chatting, we are still real people behind it that like your
Yeah.
words will affect. And it sounds cliche because a lot of people say it all the time and it's kind of a tired statement, but it's still true and it's still ignored a lot by like people in general.
Yeah, and it's like to be a content creator on the internet, you do need some like some variation of like thick skin, I guess.
Definitely.
Where
Yeah.
you have to
Oh,
be you have to be
100%.
able to like at least ignore the hate comments and not pay attention to them or
Mhm.
accept the criticism, that kind of stuff. But like I guess there's just a point where it gets to be too much when it's just every day everybody's like making all these rude comments to you because they think it's funny, like over and over again every single day. It does wear on people.
Definitely, yeah.
So it's not like
Yeah.
anybody's being a baby and they can't handle the internet, is what I'm trying to say. It's more like, you know, maybe it just doesn't have to be that way all the time.
Yeah. And we all have our own limits and like relationships with those people and how we handle it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
like, yeah, content creation.
It's
Content
kind of a
creation.
weird tangent to get to off of Nintendo releasing the 64.
Yeah.
pack, but like
How did we get here?
we went somewhere somehow.
We went on a journey. Take
did.
me on a journey.
It is very exciting though. I'm really I don't know if I'll actually get the subscription service not yet. I mean, but it is very exciting to like be able to stream some of these games
Mm-hmm.
easier.
Mhm.
I guess there are ways.
Oh.
In
There are
official,
ways.
legal manners, that is very important.
Yeah. And what I was
True.
gonna say earlier, like, it's amazing to me that still companies have not, specifically like Nintendo, right, has not just done the like SNES box that they did like
Yeah,
6 years ago or whatever for
Mhm.
every
a
single
few years back. Yeah.
console that they've ever made at a like larger scale, because the emulation software exists. They
Mm.
could just take it from like Dolphin or whatever.
That's true.
Like, it's
Well, they
clearly
also have
possible
their
to
own. I mean,
do.
that's the thing about the Wii U playing Wii games is that I believe
Right.
it's emulating Wii games
Yeah.
too. There, like they have the software.
They have the technology.
They
They can
have the
rebuild it.
technology.
I just don't know why they haven't yet.
Yeah, it feels like it's free money because you could load it on a Raspberry Pi, right? And like package it that way. So all
I
of
mean,
the
that's
like,
okay. Okay, you say that. That is literally the PlayStation 1 Mini that I have. That
right?
is
No,
literally that
definitely.
official one. That is
Yeah,
literally what they did. It's on
yeah.
Raspberry Pi software.
It makes perfect sense to do it that way. Like, make
Yeah.
a proprietary skin for a Raspberry Pi and just load an emulator on it and sell it for $150. You've made just huge amounts of money. Like,
Well, I think because I not to not to go into too much detail, but like I work in something similar to this, and I do think to some extent it may genuinely be like a pacing problem too, of like they are in the process of doing these things, but it's also a pacing of
sure,
release that matters. Is like,
that's
I
fair.
mean, if I had to guess, considering they started with I think only NES and then it got SNES and now
Mhm.
N64, getting N64 was planned from the start. It's just
Right.
longevity.
Well, yeah. To me, I think it would be easier to do like a physical release thing, right?
Yeah.
Is like,
Well, I just meant
because
like
that,
in general for that sort of
right?
thing, like not specifically just Nintendo Switch Online. I think
Sure.
there might be like if we see more of a rise in like that specific nostalgia for like
Hmm.
for example, we might be an awkward one because of it having its own controller and all that, but
Yeah,
Mhm.
I really don't think that like, I guess to be fair, I was not someone that had a Wii or enjoyed the Wii at all.
I
I
right.
loved mine.
didn't care about it, and I kind of disliked everything that came out on it for the most part.
See, I grew up with the Wii as like well, I started with N64, but I had GameCube and Wii was like my childhood
I s-
specifically, very specifically.
Super fair. I started with Sega Genesis and then went to
Yeah.
Nintendo 64.
I think my
And
first
Yeah.
console is, I don't know if it was Sega or Super Nintendo, but I had both of them. And then
that's fair.
Oh.
we got an N64, and then we moved to GameCube. And somehow I never got a Wii until I was like an adult with my own money, which is kind
Right.
of crazy.
There.
After the GameCube, I went from like Xbox into Xbox 360. I guess like at the same time as
Uh,
GameCube, I had like PS2. But like,
oh
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
see, I
PS2.
was on the opposite side of that spectrum of like Nintendo was my main console, family members had PlayStation, but I had
mhm.
access to an Xbox from friends, but I never owned an Xbox growing up.
I've
I
literally
definitely went.
never owned an Xbox to this
Oh
day.
man, I definitely went the like Call of Duty kid route, and I was
Oh.
in those Call of Duty 4 lobbies where people were screaming racist slurs,
Oh,
and like
Oh
the
boy.
it was so terrible.
Hey, good
But
timing
like,
for Modern Warfare 2 to come out again.
yeah,
Haha.
So
help!
true,
I'm frozen
true.
in
super
time.
Oh.
fair.
Why can't I move? There we go.
Yeah, I also just don't have any. I understand that a lot of people, especially like college age, not even college age, but like, I guess it's like young 30-year-old adults, mostly males that are working in like business, have a lot of
Millennial Zoomers.
nostalgia.
True.
Have a lot of nostalgia specifically for like Call of Duty, but I
Yeah.
do not understand that at all. I like have nostalgia for like Call of Duty Zombies, I guess, because I think of that as like a fun thing that I did with my friends because it was a co-op experience. But like that's very
Hmm.
different to people who like have huge nostalgia for like Call of Duty multiplayer, and I'm like, why?
See, for
It's
me,
just a first-person shooter, fam.
yeah, but for me, Call of Duty multiplayer was the first social experience where I could play with my friends
Yeah.
online on a console from home and meet new friends and like play with like up to 5 people at a time at any time. So
I
like
guess that's
I had a lot
fair.
of nostalgia because
But
it was the
yeah.
first really social part of my gaming, right?
That's
Yeah, I
fair.
think
I
that's
grew up
like a
on
big
WoW,
big part
so
of it though, is that it's not, it could be the game, but it's not just the game, it's the experience that came with that. Like for me,
sure.
like my big first online gaming experience was TF2, and like TF2 was and is and always has been garbage that I love, but like I do have a lot of like, I don't interact with people in games anymore for like TF2, my early days in TF2, and technically Halo was the first, or Halo 3 was the
Mhm.
first game I played online. I will never get those experiences of talking to random people on the internet that I didn't know again because I just don't do that anymore.
I guess it's fair. I grew up on like Counter-Strike and World of
Mm.
Warcraft. So like I already had those, and like RuneScape before that. Like I already kind of had that experience, so it wasn't groundbreaking to me, I guess, in a lot of ways.
You guys like made me realize that I literally never played a console online. Um, like I just moved
Like at
to.
all?
I just moved to PC. I mean,
That's
I've
fair.
like played a round of Overwatch or two, like on a friend's console when I was at their house. But like,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I've I got a PC when I was like 11 or something, and I started
Uh-huh.
playing Neopets, and then after that, I never went back to consoles really. Like we had a
Oh,
PlayStation
So
interesting.
2,
good.
and then that's why I never got a Wii until I was an adult with my own money. Um,
Gotcha.
that's
That's fair.
crazy to think about though.
That
Yeah,
makes
I
sense. Yeah.
I didn't have a PC that could well, I had a PC my whole life basically. I didn't have a PC that could play games until like 2015. So,
That's fair.
Yeah.
I did have a PC that could play games kind of, but
yeah.
a lot of it was just using my like parents' office computer, and like
Yeah, me too.
whenever
Yeah.
they weren't at home, just stealing our phone line and then getting yelled at later that
Yep.
night
Oh
Yep.
because
God, remember
there were no
dial-up?
messages on the phone. Um,
Yeah.
and
Connecting to the internet.
yeah,
Yep.
yep.
I feel
Oh,
And
like
I
then like
remember.
such a
playing
fossil.
Counter-Strike on dial-up, which was the most awful experience.
That sounds like
Yep.
the worst thing ever.
I can't even,
All
by
right, all
today's
right.
equivalent, I can't even imagine what that was like.
Oh, it was so bad. It was so bad. It's like playing with like 600 ping, basically. It's kind
Yeah.
of a similar experience.
No, thank you. All right, you guys. We're getting close to the end of the podcast for this week. So, I
Mhm.
want to introduce a new segment we're planning to do, hopefully every week.
What?
And it's called Spill the Tea. This will be where our lovely viewers will send in crazy stories or confessions. Nothing illegal, please, and no trauma dumping. Just funny, silly, happy, good fun here.
Right.
And you can send those in to us at witches tea party podcast at gmail.com. There it is on the
Yo,
screen there.
official email.
I placed
Wow,
it
I
there.
definitely see
Send
it.
in your crazy stories, comments, concerns into the email, and we'll choose some every week to read. This week we have a couple lovely stories from some anonymous senders.
Mhm.
And does anyone want to volunteer to read one of them?
I do have both of them open, so I can
I
read
also
them, or I
do.
can read one of them.
All right, Star, you get the first one. Either
Okay.
one is fine.
I assume we're not mentioning names for these.
Yeah, remain anonymous.
Okay, they are anonymous. You are anonymous. You are safe. I'm not doxing you yet.
Yet.
Ignore the second half of that sentence.
You are being canceled, however, currently.
Yeah, you are currently in the process of being canceled. I'm sorry.
At all
Okay,
times.
so From our first sender, we have. So my dad works in insurance and does stuff globally. Of course, that means his coworkers do too. One of them was going to Japan on business and knew my dad had a child. I was in college at the time who liked anime and stuff. He told my dad he'd get me something, and my dad told me, great. So he went into a corner store and grabbed a magazine to pass along. All well and good. He went around Asia through many airports with this magazine, no problem. I come home for Thanksgiving and this magazine is in my room. I open it up and am greeted with straight up hentai.
Oh
There was-
no!
There was no way around it. Oops, all hentai. Now, the cover of the magazine itself was like, yeah, this is not suitable for kids. You could easily tell. And my dad's coworker went around Asia with this in his luggage. Well, my dad comes in. Obviously, he knew. We laugh, and he takes it to the recycling bin. A real shame.
All right, hold on. Let me stop you just for a second. Viewers
Yep.
at home, if you don't know what hentai is, it's a chicken wearing a
Aw.
tie. For YouTube.
Yeah,
Like a
So
hen.
true, so true. You can
the
also
hen wearing a tie.
you can check out my Twitter and the hashtag downbark to find out more about it.
True, true.
Yeah. All right, go ahead.
Cut to a few days later, Thanksgiving. We had family over, including some we really only see on Thanksgiving. A lovely dinner. It was great. My grandparents from Florida, we were in New Jersey sadly, were there too. My grandma is the type to be all about manners, elbows off the table kind of thing. Well, we were all talking, and my dad, as he does, brings up his coworker getting the porn. That's when he remembers that the recycling wasn't taken out yet. So he goes to the bin and takes it out and hands it to someone. He starts looking it over, laughing, and my cousin is just like, well, don't hog it, pass it over. And it starts
Oh
making
my
the rounds.
God.
Everyone's getting a turn with this book. Then it gets
Oh
to my
my God.
grandma. Uh-oh. The manner-obsessed old Jewish lady has the porn.
No.
Well, all she had to say is, don't show this to Grandpa. I don't think his heart could take it.
Oh my God.
Imagine like going
as-
out that way though. To be.
As a tangent by our lovely sender, my grandpa during all of this was just reading on his Kindle. He did not even budge. He was also always the type to see me on my Game Boy and be like, don't you ever get tired of that thing? So I go to him on his Kindle and just go, don't you ever get tired of that thing? It went right over his head. Anyway, we all have our laugh and my dad takes it back to the recycling. The night goes on and people start heading out. My closest cousins alternate Thanksgivings with their cousins and us. This year was with the other cousins, but they always stop by after. So me and my dad and my cousins are talking, and of course, the hentai comes up. So of course, my dad goes back to the bin and gets it back out with the idea that my cousin takes it to his dad saying, I really want to learn Japanese now.
Oh no!
Oh my God.
And he does it. And now my uncle is just meticulously looking over the magazine. He's asking questions like, what do these X's mean, referring to sensors and words, and stuff like that. He looks at the back and sees a phone number. He was genuinely thinking of calling it, but the cost of international calls would have been ridiculous. And it goes back to the recycling bin. For the final time, rest in peace, Hentai Mag. And that's the story of the time my family passed around literal hentai at Thanksgiving.
That's wild.
What a
It's
fun,
so
family-friendly activity.
Yeah.
That's
Fun
for
to
the
the
whole
whole
family.
family.
Like, I know that Thanksgiving is usually about turkeys, but I think having a hen be involved is a little bit,
Oh
you
my
know,
God,
it's like fine,
hentai.
right?
Yeah.
It's close enough. It's close enough.
It's
I
pretty
can't-
similar, you know?
I can't imagine, like, this interaction would not happen with my family.
The
Yeah.
thing-
I
the
feel
thing
like
that gets me
mine
the
would
most about it-
probably pass it around too. Maybe not the
That's-
not the kids though.
The
Yeah,
thing
yeah,
that
yeah.
gets me the most about it is the fact that like they willingly gave it to their grandmother. Like
Right.
I can't, there's no way. I can't.
it's so funny. Like
Hey,
see,
Grandma,
I
look
would
at the
do that.
anime girl.
I would do that because I'm a little shit
Wait,
and I would think it's hilarious.
I just had
But
a,
like
I just
as,
had
like,
a thought.
an adult
Mm.
doing that, like that cares about these other people? Who are you?
You know, like those Ahegao hoodies?
Yeah.
Oh
Do you think anyone's like
no.
ever worn one to like a family event?
No, but I
No.
have
Misty,
Ahegao keycaps that I
What?
had whenever I lived with my
I
parents still. So
oh my god, Boa. Also, back at my first college, which I've talked about a little bit on my streams,
mhm.
there's a guy who's pretty famous at our school who was also famous on the school's subreddit and all of Reddit front page for quite a while because he had the full decked out Ahegao outfit.
No,
He had full
no.
fit, each item, hat, jacket, pants, shirt, all Ahegao.
I
And I was friends with this person. I knew this person. Like, he was a super nice guy, a little socially awkward. But then I saw
Oh,
him in the Ahegao and
That's so
I'm
funny.
tired. I'm
Can
so
I
tired.
can I make the confession that I really want to get the like Ahegao panties and like thigh highs because I think they're
Ew.
hilarious.
Wait, what? Can you send me that? I've never seen it.
Yeah, definitely.
Uh,
definitely.
I'm
I've
not
never seen
putting
that
that on the
either.
screen because I don't want us to get banned
Oh yeah,
from YouTube. But
yeah, they're out there. They're
They're out
definitely out there.
It's really funny
Mhm.
that someone so like unassuming and like theoretically shy and like quiet would do that.
Yeah, he was such a nice guy. I mean, he was loud. He was like he was a loud guy, but just yeah. Yeah.
Right. Not like the type of person you would expect to be like wearing that.
Yeah. Well, he also cosplayed as like Jotaro Kujo, so like, you know,
Okay. That's fair.
there was some taste there at least.
yeah, no, that's fair.
It was more, I mean, there was like a genuine concern about like, and I'm not talking about he didn't do this like at night. This was during the school day. This is what he wore to class. Like, I've been in class with him wearing the Ahegao outfit.
Oh my god.
That's just.
I
I would maybe do it for a
Mom
large sum of money.
yeah,
I guess
Subatomo?
I would maybe, but
I
man.
would not. Okay, maybe for money, but in general, no. Also, for context, Momo just sent us the picture of
Oh my god, wait, I
of
have to
the
see it.
of the thigh highs.
They
There's
sort
also
of
there's also a skirt, which I do also want pretty bad.
I actually don't hate them, but like I
They sort
don't
of look
them
like
either.
like
I
skeleton
despise
thigh
them.
highs
Yeah,
from
it
a
makes me
distance.
think of like a
too.
skeleton. It's probably because they're like
It's
black and white. I can't show you viewers at home,
Mhm.
sorry, but you can imagine it.
We don't want to get
Yeah.
demonetized before we're monetized.
You can
Yeah,
just
we're
put a
not
picture of a
even
skeleton on
able
the
to be
screen.
monetized yet, but we don't want to get demonetized before we can.
We have to mark this as explicit if this goes on Spotify.
It's
Oh,
just very funny, like that it exists, and it makes me
Mhm.
want it because I am that type of person. And
Yeah.
like I'm a relatively lewd content creator, and I just think it's really funny. And I had the Ahegao keycaps for so long that I'm like,
wait, really? You do?
yeah.
There's so much about Momo that I'm learning today. I mean, I already
That's
knew
what I was
about
saying.
some of this stuff.
That's what I
But...
was saying earlier. Is like I can imagine like this Ahegao like hoodie wearing it to like a family function or something like that because like I had the Ahegao keycaps on my keyboard whenever I
Yeah.
lived with my parents,
Oh my
and
god.
like a lot of my family saw them. And I'm like,
Oh,
I
the
can tell you which
panties.
I can tell you which hentai they're from if you want to know, but like
Oh my
I would
god.
have died of embarrassment. Oh my god.
Momo's the expert here. All right.
I don't know.
Degenerate
Thank you,
expert.
dear viewer, for spilling the tea. We do have one
Yeah.
other story.
Yeah.
I don't know if we have a volunteer to read this one. If not, I can do it.
I would love to read it.
All
if
right,
you
go
want.
right ahead.
Okay. Let me put it in front of me so that I'm like looking straight ahead as opposed to the left. So our dear viewer has written in today to say that they may not have told us the story before, but they think it's pretty funny. So when I was in 9th grade, I had moved into town, and so I was unfamiliar with everything and everyone. One day, very early in the school year, maybe second week, I had to stay after class to talk to a teacher. Thing is, I took the bus, and the bus system where I live is awful. So I finish up talking to my teacher, and I'm like, oh God, the bus stop is so far away. Maybe if I cut across the field, I can make it. Which, like, fair. Gotta make some shortcuts happen to get to the bus on time. And there was a gate there, or so I thought. Turns out that when I reached all the way across the field where I could see the bus stop, there was a 10-foot tall chain link fence with twisted metal at the top and no middle supporting bar. And with no time to navigate all the way around, seriously, this was the entire campus, I resolved to climb the fence.
Oh no.
An ambitious
Oh
move
my
to be sure.
God.
Oh.
So I get to the top of the fence, throw my like 20-pound backpack over. Oh no.
No, oh no.
And due to the twisted metal
Mhm.
at the top, I'm like, okay, you get one shot to basically vault yourself over this thing with no supports. And I went for it. I did not make it cleanly.
Oh no.
In specific, the back of my shirt got caught on the fence and then hoisted me, so I spent a solid 30 seconds dangling from the fence like a cartoon character
Oh.
Oh my
until
God.
I wiggled out of my shirt. So now, shirtless in front of the bus stop, I had to like climb up to get my shirt, except I sprained my shoulder on the way down, so I couldn't actually do that. A kind soul got my shirt, and I made the bus.
I'm glad they made the bus at least.
Oh.
Me too. After my parents took me to the ER and I told them this story, they just immediately began laughing because the mental image of their character being in a real life Looney Tune was too good to pass up. And they actually still have a scar from this event.
That's
Oh my
awful.
God.
That's crazy.
I mean, it could have been a lot
Um,
worse if like all that happened and they
yeah.
missed the bus. But oh my God.
Yeah, it's definitely a story where it's funny because at least you're okay, but also,
Right?
oh my
It could have been
God.
a lot
It does
worse.
leave a very funny mental image.
Yeah.
I would have understood if they had jumped over and like gotten caught on the fence and like ripped their shirt or something and they fell and like hurt themselves that way, right? But the fact that they jumped over and then stayed attached to the fence
Yeah.
The
is
fact that they
so
dangled
funny.
over.
And they had to like
That is
dangle
very
there.
funny.
That had to be like painful too. I feel so
Oh,
bad.
absolutely. Like it's awful and it's fine to laugh at it now because it's like in the past and they're fine now, but it is so funny.
Yeah.
Like, there would be some level of fear if that happened to me, but mostly I feel like I would even in the moment be like, what the hell is happening to me? Why did I do
Yeah.
this? How did I get
How
in this
did I get here?
situation?
Why-
Right.
Why are we
Well,
still
I've
here?
had
Just
those forms of
suffering.
awkward situation where it's like a bit of adrenaline and then the self actualization of like, I did this to myself. Also, how did I get in this situation?
Yeah. My
It's
God.
so good. It's so funny. I feel terrible for them in that moment.
Yeah.
Like that sucks. Especially standing there without a shirt and having to ask someone walking by like, "Hey, I sprained my shoulder really bad. And
And
I
this
got caught
person-
on this fence. Could you get it for me?"
Yeah, and what makes
Right.
it worse is that this person is female. Anonymous, but female. So like, man,
Mhm.
that had
It's
to
like
be
even more
awful.
embarrassing.
Yeah.
I just
I would die. I would die on the spot of embarrassment, not from scratches. I would die from embarrassment right
The
there.
thing about that is like in that situation, I know I've like sprained my shoulder. I'm going to resolve myself to the fact that I'm going to permanently damage myself, but I'm not going to ask someone else for help. I'm
Yeah.
getting that shirt on my own.
Yeah, it's just too embarrassing to like ask anyone. I don't know if
Right.
they did ask anyone or if someone was just kind. But like,
Someone might have
man,
like been at. Oh God, can you imagine if someone was at the bus stop watching this happen?
and so like you have the
gosh.
embarrassment
Oh.
settling in,
Oh,
and
yeah,
you have
but-
the panic from like almost missing your bus. So it's
I could That sounds like a cartoon of like again to lean on that cartoon thing, like the bus pulls up and the whole bus and the bus like
Oh God.
driver are
They all
watching you dangle.
Watching you like dangling there, and you're like, the door opens up, and you're just like, wait, hold on, please. And the bus
Wait
driver
for
just looks at
me.
you and just goes, no, and closes the door on you.
Oh,
Oh my God.
that just reminded me of like so we all have these moments I think of or most of us do at some point where we have this moment of like, oh God, did anyone see that? Um
Right.
the other day driving home from work, I saw this older lady who was walking her dog. It looked like she rolled her ankle and fell down. And since I was driving that way, I pulled down my window. I was like, ma'am, are you okay? Because she just ate the dirt and is getting back up. She's like, yeah, I'm fine. And I just had that realization of like, this is that moment that like you're like, oh God, did anyone see that? And to this woman,
Mhm.
yeah, someone saw it and asked if she was
Oh
okay.
God.
Oh,
I
Which
like
might be more embarrassing than it never happening.
it gets icy here every year, so like at
Oh
least
no.
once a year if I'm walking anywhere, I will bust my ass. Like
Mhm.
slip and
No,
just bust my ass.
oh.
And thankfully no one's ever like at least made it known that they've seen it.
The biggest moment for me like that was I used to drive or I used to like ride a motorcycle, and it was very early on in my time of riding a motorcycle. I was at a stoplight and I was going to turn left, and I so whenever you stop on a motorcycle, you shift into neutral, right? That's like a thing that you have to do because otherwise you like burn your clutch basically.
Mhm.
Um, you don't technically have to. You can just hold in your like clutch if you want, but it's better to shift into neutral, and that's what you're taught to do. And because I was very early, that's what I did. Um, and then whenever you like start going, you have to pull your clutch in and then shift down to first gear and then like rev your engine to start going. What I did was I revved my engine by accident, pulled in my clutch, and then shifted down to first gear at like
Oh.
7,000 RPM.
Oh my
So
God.
whenever I let go of my clutch, the entire motorcycle underneath me went flying straight upwards, and I went
Oh
directly backwards onto the ground.
You
no. Oh
popped
my
a
Oh
God.
wheelie. You popped a wheelie in real life.
I super did in the worst way possible. I
I'm
Oh
popped a
my
glad you're
wheelie,
God.
okay.
hit the ground. I was fine. I was like from a standing stop or like from a stop, and then like the motorcycle didn't land on me or anything. I
Yeah,
would be
thankfully.
dead if that happened, but thankfully it didn't, and it like went forward. But then I like panicked because there was people behind me and people to the right of me, and like I was in the middle of the street,
Oh
and I
yeah,
started
because
trying to
No.
lift up the bike. But to lift up a bike, you have to like push from like underneath it basically to lift it because it's like 400 pounds of metal.
They're so heavy.
They're so heavy. And I was like trying to pull it up from the other side. So I was just looking like an idiot trying to get this up, not doing anything, panicking in the middle of this intersection, making everything worse on myself until some random guy behind me like stopped his truck, got out and like helped me push it up.
oh my God.
It
Shout
I'm
out
was
to
glad
the
he
Good
helped.
the
Samaritan though.
most embarrassing experience of my entire life, and I cannot like
God.
I won't tell the entire story, but I had a similar experience where I fell off my motorcycle, and in the adrenaline, I did lift it up, and
Wait,
instead of someone nice coming to, like, check on me and see if I was okay, a cop pulled up and was like, "You know, you can't park here, right?"
why are you
Oh
both
my
talking
And I
about
was
God,
with
just like I just,
motorcycles?
like, fell,
dude.
like, I just crashed, and he was like,
uh,
"Oh, oh, are you okay?" And I'm like,
Oh, did he not see it happen?
I guess not, but, like
I thought he asked that after he saw it happen, which make it so much funnier if it was like, can't
I
park
mean,
here.
I would be really surprised if he didn't see it happen, but based on the reaction, it kinda seems like he didn't, but I was just
Yeah.
really, like, stun-locked by it because I was like, "Whoa,
Well,
I know I'm not, like, parking here, I just crashed, I'm, like, trying to not be on the road."
Yeah.
sir, I just ate shit. What do you
Hell.
want from me?
Right.
it's so awful.
I see
Star, you
earlier
don't
this
also have
year.
a motorcycle story, do you?
No, but
Hot
I
girls
have
on
to
motorcycles.
relate to our lovely listener who sent in their email. Earlier this year, at my esports arena job,
Mm.
this is a quick story. I had a pants rip situation.
Oh
Um,
no.
at work, and like this is related to my school, so it was only 4-hour shift, so it wasn't too bad. But like 2 hours into my shift, I sit down and hear a and I'm like, huh, that's weird. Anyways, and when
Oh.
I stood up, I was wearing pants, and this is okay. Relative to real life stuff, I've also talked about on my stream. I've been losing a lot of weight over the last year.
Mhm.
So I was wearing pants that at this point were like a size too big. Well, there was the middle thread keeping these pants. These are like khaki pants, like green
Yeah.
khaki pants. The thread in the middle from the top of my pants all the way down my left leg split. The
Oh.
entire thread separated from the pants.
Oh my god.
So
Oh
going like up the backside. So I was the manager on duty. So thankfully I was able to sit. I'm allowed to sit at this job. So I, worked my 2 hours and then like shuffled backwards outside of the
no.
door
Oh my god.
so that hopefully no one noticed that my butt is hanging out of my pants that are ripped in half. It was not. It was a day. It was a day. It was quite the day.
Yeah.
That sounds so awful. I am so sorry.
No one
So now
ever commented on it, and I don't live there anymore, so it's probably fine.
I'm so sorry, but I've been literally singing the SpongeBob ripped his pants song
Oh
like
my
in my
God.
head the whole time you were telling
Just-
this story.
Rip my pants.
So now the listeners don't have to feel bad. We have also all spilled the tea on
Mhm.
an embarrassing
Yeah.
story.
So
I have
true.
hundreds more, so don't worry.
We'll have plenty to
Anytime
share
you
with
send
you.
in one, I could be there with you.
Yes. Thank you again to our lovely viewers for spilling the tea. If you would like us to read and comment on your crazy stories, don't forget to send them in to witchesteapartypodcast@gmail.com. We also have a Twitter account that we didn't have when we made the first episode. So go ahead and follow us at, what the hell did I name it? I think it's at Witch Tea Party PC. The PC stands for podcast.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, there's already a Witch's
Witch
Tea Party
PC.
podcast Twitter account. So, or wait, no, it was too long.
Also, given whatever future context the Elon Musk purchase has, make sure to interact with us on there. Otherwise, the algorithm will just never see us, I guess.
Yes, please. I mean,
True.
we also retweet it on our accounts, or at least I have been. So, like, you
Yeah.
can also follow all of us. Please do. And before we wrap up, I just wanna. Does anyone have any like exciting like things that you've just made or will be making or doing? For example, I just released a new song cover. I call them scuff covers because I don't make them like professionally.
I'm
But-
sorry, but they are amazing. So
They're so good. Your voice is literally beautiful. Like,
Yeah.
Did it make me blush? But yeah, I just wanted to like shout out any of our recent
Yeah.
achievements at the end of each episode. So like please check out my song cover if you have time. Does anyone else have anything they'd like to share?
Yeah, I mean, just in general, I stream right now every Monday and Friday. I just played through Evo Land, which is a really cute referential game to other games. Also, I did the awful Mountain Dew taste test stream where I tried over 35 Mountain Dews. That is going to be one of the VODs I'm saving and uploading to my YouTube channel.
Oh, and vouch for her stream. I was there. It was cute.
It was the worst thing.
it's a fun time.
Speaking of streaming, I don't stream on a regular schedule right now. I've been putting most of my time into making YouTube videos, but I try to stream 2 times a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I currently, unfortunately, do not have a lot going on because all of my like existence has been eaten by my current job.
Congrats
But
on the
at
job.
some point, thank you. At some point, I'm hoping to get back into like actually making like video essays. I've like scripted 2 of them and not actually made them. So, you
That's
know.
exciting.
Exciting. I've been making like daily TikToks and YouTube shorts. That's where most of my attention is going recently. I've also been streaming more, shorter streams, but like 3 times a week or more if I can. They're like earlier though, because I'm like a normie now or something, I guess.
Yuki has been popping
also,
off on the content.
yeah, I've been trying real hard. I this is not something I want to like promote. I just had a funny idea for like a little tagline for the spill the tea section. It'd be like I don't know if this is anything, but it's kind of cute to be like no use crying over spilled milk, but there is use crying or there is use laughing over spilled tea.
Hey, that's a nice little. I like that.
Hey, that's clever.
Yeah.
I just thought of it, so I was like, I gotta share this.
I'm gonna put it
Very
in
good.
little text underneath it when we do the segment.
Mhm.
But yeah, if you would like to share your stories with us, please send them into our email. You know what? You could also DM us on the podcast Twitter account if you would
Ooh,
like.
true.
Either way is fine. Please check out everyone's Twitters, YouTubes, Twitch accounts.
Yeah.
Please Senpai notice us. And thank you so much for joining us this week for the Witches Tea Party.
Yeah. Thanks
Yeah,
for watching.
thank you.
Thanks for
Thank you
watching.
so
Bye.
much.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye.
Meant to wave. Bye.
I have to
I'm
pee.
sorry, I'm clawing you in the face. Okay, bye.
Oh my gosh, you can put your paws up too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. All right. Sorry. Bye. Bye. Bye.